Right, welcome back to part two of Above Average FPL WildCard Game Week 6. No idea what's happening. No idea.
No.
That's never happened before. So we're back. We're going to do like 10 minutes now. Just crack on with the teams, basically.
I mean, people just want to see this bit, really.
This is it. So this is the one. This is the video that's going to get all the views. Everyone, that last one just might as well be binned off.
Yeah. So if you want to see us, what we discussed about how we were trying to get to our teams, then go to that one. If you just want to see the teams, this one will do you.
This one will do you. So we'll start. We were talking about, you were talking about structure. Did you want to just finish that point?
Well, I think we're sort of there, but basically we were talking about the difference if you want to go a Palmer structure, where you then have a couple of premiums. So a freemium, as you like to say, Adam.
Absolutely not.
Then, so why don't we start with that? Why don't we start with Danny's draft?
Let's do that. Talk us through it for the guys on audio.
Yeah, okay. So this is the baseline draft, where I sort of keep coming back to. So whether I'll end up here is an entirely different question, because I'm definitely not sure yet, which is rare for me. I normally come on this pod and I know exactly what I'm doing, or what I think I know what I'm doing, and I just sort of tell people what I think and don't listen to anyone else, and then just crack on. Whereas I've not got a clue at the moment, so I'm a bit scared. So this has got Raya, a 4.0 keeper. Remind me at the end to think about who that should be, because I don't know. Trent, Gabriel, Lewis, Greaves, and Faze. And then we've got Rodgers, Bumo, Palmer, Saka, McNeil, and Haaland, Calvert-Lewin, and Vardy. ATM.
If Raya's out, your plan would probably be Flecken. Is that right?
If Raya's ruled out at the moment, I'd probably just go Flecken.
And then would you spend the £1 million on upping defenders, or maybe a Wood, or maybe a Semenyo?
I hate that. I hate having to think about it in such a short space of time. I need to process this sort of stuff. And it is an interesting one, because starting off with the defenders, that's probably the obvious thing, because obviously, with Lewis, I've got a pretty lightweight with two 4.0s. There aren't many good defenders at all out there around that price. I can't get to Porro.
It's a problem, isn't it? It's a problem. It's a problem. Like, we mentioned Mikalenko to Adam, and Adam almost vomited on stream.
You could get someone like Delit, I could reach.
It's 5 though. Do you know what I mean? It's too much.
Yeah, I'm not too bothered about the 4.55 thing with him, because he's got the goal threat, and I'm not. If he's good, he's good. It's not like there are other good 5s, so that's what I'm not seeing. It's with the others. I wouldn't change Rodgers or Mbuemo. Palmer, Saka. We'll talk about that, but that could be Salah and Diaz. And then McNeil, I feel pretty good about him. Talk about McNeil if you want. I don't know, because that's one area.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't hugely talk about it in the previous pod, but obviously Semenyo and McNeil are in and around a lot of people's teams. I think the thing on Semenyo, and is that Southampton, Leicester next 2 games. It's like the reverse of the Arsenal ones. Then they're good. They're good.
Yeah, I mean,
then do have to think about what you do for the next 3, though. Like you either.
That's why I don't fancy it at the moment. I do like Semenyo. I'm definitely worried about the Monday night game now as well. And I'll definitely be worried about not having him in the first 2. But I think people look at McNeil and think that just looks really drab, and is he going to get any points? Like, what are you doing with that sort of player? But I'm not sure it is. And I'm so not a McNeil type. I've always laughed it in the past, but I don't want to feel like I've got like a sort of conservative, safe team, and that's what McNeil is, because I'm not sure that is actually the case. Because watching Everton at the moment, it's completely changed with McNeil.
Yeah,
he's obviously Dyke's boy, and now he's playing this number 10 role, and
all set pieces.
All set pieces, number 10, 90 minutes as a baseline. But he's suddenly got a bit of swagger. Like he looks like he actually knows that he's the best player, or he thinks he is. And he's got really good players around him. Obviously, you've got McNeil, and then Harrison or whatever's been doing business. But Njai is a baller. If you ask any, my dad's a Sheffield United season ticket holder, And he'll say without hesitation that Njai's like the best player Sheffield United have had in the last 10 years at least. I don't think people realise how good he is. So he can create things from nothing. But McNeil's just got a bit of swagger at the moment. He's everything he's doing is right.
Yeah.
Passes he's making, and I just think when you combine it with the fixtures, I might be completely wrong. I don't get me wrong. I don't go into a game week thinking, oh, McNeil, and that's the problem. But I think he's a lot better than people realise, and I think I'd have him over Semenyo regardless, even if I had more money.
Interesting.
But one that I keep coming back to, which is bothering me, has been ESR, because, and the reason why I've kind of cooled on it a little bit today, and you find these ways why, because I was looking at what I would do with that extra money, because my first thought was actually I'd just get Smith Rowe, because Smith Rowe just feels like a guy, and we talked about Baker and I already like earlier in the week, but he's just a goal scorer, and he's just going to pop up and score goals, and he's just going to pop up and get 10 pointers just regularly, fairly regularly and sporadically. He's going to get double-digit goals. I'd be very confident of that. He's just going to rack up the points, and he can do. I feel really good about just Smith Rowe, and I would have him there and leave him there. The only reason why I've cooled a bit is because I'm not really sure what's going on with the minutes. I know that they've been building up. I know that he wasn't fit at the start of the season, but if he is just a 70-minute man, which he potentially is, then that also does make a big difference versus someone like McNeil or even Semenyo. I've not really looked closely at Semenyo's minutes. So Smith Rowe is someone that I'm tempted by, but again, I don't want to bench Rodgers. I see a lot of people benching Rodgers. I'm not going to bench him. A lot of these teams where you do spend the extra money has got Rodgers benched in a lot of fixtures. I just wouldn't want to bench him. I think he's a ridiculous pick, Rodgers. He's a 90-minute man, and
I've currently got him benched.
Yeah. Whereas McNeil will be, when I look forward at future game weeks, on the weeks that are good for Vardy, which there are seemingly quite a lot.
Yeah.
I can bench McNeil, and at least I can go to bed at night. Even if you've got double digits, it's McNeil.
And you've got cheap Vardy as well. That's probably the other point to note with this one is that you got him before the price rises. So you have got some, he's an easy one.
Yeah, I mean Vardy's obviously got
it doesn't feel like you're giving up a lot there to have Palmer in.
No. To me, it feels solid. Apart from obviously the defenders, and people look at it and think that's risky with Lewis, but put that to one side because I'm not overly bothered because the 4.3s and the 4.5s and the 4.6s and 7s and 8s are all rubbish. So am I really? This is the thing with Lewis. I suppose we'll have to talk about Lewis at some point, but if he doesn't play, it's not the end of the world to go down to a Greaves or a Faze, especially if they've got an okay fixture, because they're fine. But yeah, I keep coming back to this. I keep coming back to this draft, no matter how much I try and deviate from what it's 50-50 though at the moment. I still could, because I could with this draft, like I said to you at the start, nothing. I could leave everything exactly the same, and Saka and Palmer can be Salah and Diaz.
And
that's seriously
a big gamble in it on Liverpool.
The thing with Saka, it's just a big one. Salah and Diaz obviously feels like fewer future transfers because there are going to be transfers that I'm going to want to make and need to make. So that's a problem. But then it's building up, isn't it? This Wolves fixture. It does look perfect for them.
It does.
I don't buy this. Yes, a lot of people are saying, and I think a lot of people watching this and saying, I've got to have some Liverpool attack. So loads of people are going to have Diaz. It doesn't really make sense to me because Palmer's better than Diaz and Saka's better than Diaz. And that's the way I see it. And I know,
I don't disagree with that.
And like I know how good Diaz looks at the moment. He's absolutely electric. He's incredible. Don't get me wrong, but he's obviously on a hot streak, and he is a minutes risk. So if I'm trying to be straightforward with myself. He's not as good as Palmer or Saka, and that end of. So I'm not just going to squeeze Diaz in because I want a piece of the Liverpool attack, and I'm not even sure that like upgrading Calvert-Lewin say to a decent striker, Dom in the future and maybe even now, but not for Havertz. So I don't think I'm not really seeing the value there when you've got someone like Calvert-Lewin, 90 minutes, penalties, really good fixtures. Jamie Vardy, 90 minutes, penalties, really good fixtures. Why do I want to downgrade someone so I can have a piece of Liverpool attack, guarantee myself a transfer next week or the week after?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get you, but we're all going to need we all need a piece of variance and look with some aspect of our squad, and some people are taking
Apparently,
their.
Adam, you're muted, by the way.
I was muted. So what I was saying was, I mean, I just don't feel comfortable with Wout Faes, Greaves, Calvert-Lewin and Vardy. So many tech issues today. And having to play one of those four, but then I'm always trying to squeeze that little bit extra out, and I'd like to have 11 players that I'm comfortable with and have maybe a dead bench rather than doing it that way. But everybody heard your response to that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so yeah, and it depends what makes you feel comfortable, because if you look at that and it's like what we see a lot of, and it's like a Diaz and a Havertz here or there or something like that. Okay, fine, yeah, they're good players, but I don't really know what I'm going to see from Havertz. He's only there for 3 weeks. I don't know how many minutes Diaz is going to get. I don't know if he's just got one good week left in him. There are things that make me uncomfortable about that moving forward. Whereas actually, I've got a lot of pieces there that I'm very comfortable with long term, and I'd be happy to sort of see how the likes of McNeil, Vardy, and Calvert-Lewin do over the next few, where they've got really good fixtures and they've got 90 minutes. And actually, the teams Everton and Leicester look all right. Actually, they don't look terrible to me at the moment. So it just depends. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that is why I'm a bit like, am I really wildcarding? And I'm like, going in double Everton this week, and then I've got McNeil as my sub, Vardy and Calvert-Lewin. But then I keep moving away from that to other players, and I'm going, well, actually, I'm not sure I'm seeing the value. I keep coming back here.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Should we move over to yours, Baker?
Yeah, why not?
We probably want to talk about Lewis as well, or we can do that with you.
We can do it with it.
Do it here.
We can do it with it. I think in a way I think the point is what neither of us have talked about Lewis is the fact that you don't really talk about Lewis like a rules of Fight Club. It's because we haven't spent any time today talking about this 4.5 defender, or this is nugget of joy in this one. There isn't. Go back to the start of the video that we had when we looked at this week's fixtures. 20-25% chances for all of those defenders to keep cleans. You've only got to get a couple of unbelievable performances from Lewis, which he's got in him, and it'll offset it all. So you just do it. That's my feeling on it. So I've still got Raya at the moment. Similar to you, I think it will go Flecken. For me, this draft's got 0.4 in the bank. If it was Flecken, what I'd be doing in this is probably moving Mikalenko back to Porro. Porro is actually in the team. And then I've got that option as well with Porro. Maybe Porro and Semenyo then become almost a rotation for me in that space, because that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable about what do I do in a couple of weeks when Semenyo runs potentially out of nicer fixtures. So I've got Trent, Lewis, Gabriel, Mikalenko, and Greaves at the moment. I've got Bumo, Semenyo, Luis Diaz, Saka, Rodgers, and then I've got DCL, Solanke, and Haaland. As I said, the other option is I could use that Flecken money and I could do Solanke to Havertz. Just not 100% on it.
Yeah, no, I think, speaking earlier on part one, I think I've been convinced actually that Solanke's probably better. As you say, like we said, like Kane regen, 7.5 million for someone that's going to get as many chances, chances than Kane used to get. Type vibe, that type thing. He's not Kane, but
I struggle a bit on the Wood and DCL bit. In that, if you ask me, who do I like really, and I knew they were playing exactly the same minutes and everything was in it, then I would probably go Wood. And it's like, but fact is, Wood's played 190, everything else is 70s, including recent. I think it's game week 3, he played 90. Other than that, last 2 games is less. The options that come off the bench run a lot more than him. which is really good for them in the last 20 minutes. You saw it with the two guys, Jota and Sosa came off the bench again in the Brighton game, and it was he can't do that. What they were doing. DCL last 3 games is like 89, 89, 90. I just yeah, they're neither of them are good, but I'm just gonna run the punt on the 90-minute man for me. Yeah, I think that's where I am. I am partially looking at it and thinking, well, if I don't get any news, maybe I just do Ryder Flecken and Mikalenko and Porro. Is it the world's worst thing, other than I hate Flecken more than any man on earth? Moaned about Brentford defence last week against us and how bad it is, but he does have a huge habit of getting 6, 7, 8, 9 saves in some games, even when they do concede, and can get 3, 4 pointers that tick along. Hey, it's keepers.
Mikalenko's the only one that concerns me in this one, as you might expect.
Yeah. And that's another decision on this, is if Rara is okay and fine, I've got 0.4 million. So I could push Mikalenko to somebody that's 4.4, 4.5, for example. There's not many out there. Quite like Colwill, quite like Collins. Not massively.
Wouldn't bother.
I can't be bothered, really. I think I'd rather keep the money sitting around on that one.
Gives you options as well. Even Smith Rowe for Semenyo maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On to you, Adam. How are you?
So I've made 2 transfers already. My team, as it stands right now, is Martinez in goal, Trent, Gabriel, and Porro at the back. I've got Rogers, Salah with captaincy. I've got Eze, Palmer, and Bumo, and then Solanke and Nketiah as my front 2. I've got Johnston, Lewis, João Pedro, and Leif Davis on the bench. Obviously, João Pedro's injured. I don't think I would have played him this week anyway, to be honest. But well, I probably would have played him over Nketiah, but I wouldn't. I'm still umming and ahhing over the Lewis thing here. But the question is, do I take Salah out and do I go to Saka, and can I take Nketiah up to Havertz, because I have the money to do that. It's pretty easy for me to get there. As I say, I've used 2 of my 4 transfers. I've got 2 left, so I can sit on this. This is fine. I don't mind. I don't mind it. Just the double Palace attack against Everton doesn't feel overly fantastic, but feels okay. Feels fine. We're going to get something, I assume, on Rico. So if Rico starts, that probably becomes 4-5-1, and I probably just bin Nketiah down to the bench.
Yeah,
and then if that happens, then there's no way I'm taking out. I'm not bringing in Saka and Havertz, I don't think, and then probably save that for next week. I'm gonna get another transfer in there,
mate. This is the thing, right? You're back to 3 transfers again next week, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm back to 3 transfers next week.
It's huge.
Yeah,
I'd roll that myself, and I'd probably play Nketiah over Porro if Lewis plays.
Yeah,
but you're a United fan.
Yeah, I think I would play Nketiah this week.
Yeah, I've got no issues playing.
He's basically up against Mikalenko, who you don't like. So
this is true. You'd
enjoy it even more when he does him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
mate.
It's nice.
That's nice with 3 transfers next week.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite good about that. But Palace have just been crap. This is the problem, actually. Palace have just actually been crap.
But maybe if anyone can make them not, maybe
it's probably Everton. It's probably Everton.
Yeah.
Like Southampton have created more XG than. I mean, they've had a penalty, I suppose.
Team's good, mate.
Team's good. We'll see.
What do you reckon, you boys, Saka and Palmer versus Salah and Diaz?
I would be on Saka and Palmer.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's definitely sensible.
Unless you were going to captain Mo. and then that might sway it.
Yeah. Again, what I like about that structure is either way, if I did have Salah and theoretically, I don't really need to make transfers elsewhere. So with the Salah and Diaz thing, I can take them for a couple of weeks and be comfortable just switching it around after that. But yeah, I'll think about it tonight.
Cool.
Boom.
Cool. Someone said
We're
no
done.
Haaland or Saka. Stop gaslighting him. Like, I love it. I love it. Like,
you can't.
It's not like Palmer hasn't had a 17-pointer this season. It's not like Salah hasn't had a double-digit return this season. Like, these guys can all score points, and you can't have all four of them. It's not like that. Like, don't get me wrong. I know that going without Saka and Haaland it does feel like a problem, but I can't. I don't want, like, would you swap out Saka for Salah?
Mate.
When Wolves are just completely like ripped to shreds, no defenders, ill.
I think like I tell you what, let's take this. We'll take this for Sunday. But Salah and Palmer versus Saka and Haaland this weekend, I think that is a close bet.
Salah and Palmer. With the captaincy, assuming the captaincy is on Haaland and Salah.
Yep. Let's have a look at where that plays out Sunday night. I don't think that's so. As much as everyone's going to look at it and say, "Oh yeah, got no Haaland and Saka," mate. I am looking at my team thinking I haven't got Palmer and Salah this weekend. I do not want to go into this weekend without those two, and I am.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
Dangerous. Well, let's. We've got stuff to do now. So, deadline is 11 o'clock tomorrow or today if you're listening in the morning. Danny, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your wild card thoughts. Really appreciate it. Good to always chat, mate.
Yeah. Cheers from me on, guys.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure. And thanks to everyone that's been patient with us. Over 200 people have come and joined us on the second half of this tech issue filled stream. So I'll try and figure out what the hell it was that happened. I've lost the recording. It stopped recording midway through, so I'm now going to have to like re-record the pods, and oh my god, I'm not looking forward to it. But
you'll do the magic, mate. You'll do the magic.
Thank you to everyone who's joined us. Good luck for game week 6. Good luck if you're on wildcard. Good luck if you're not on wildcard. And good luck if Haaland blanks and you have to listen to Andy Martin all weekend.
But not good luck to Danny between 4:30 and 6:30 on Sunday.
Absolutely
not.
Absolutely. Final thing, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, let us know what your teams are like, and we'll see you Sunday. Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Nice one. See you later.